is a business competition for cleantech startups. I was 4 years at Loudspring. It's a stock-listed accelerator in the cleantech field. Some 15 companies that are growing fast in international markets. And the chairman is right here of Loudspring. And I've been at the Swedish Energy Agency, which, just as was mentioned earlier, has a lot of the fast-growing companies in this field, actually. I'm now running my own show, basically my own accelerator. I help some 4 companies, and I'm also helping InnoEnergy, which is the EU incubator accelerator with funds to put into energy-related startups. So if you're interested in that, get in touch with me or Marcus, who's also here today from InnoEnergy. I'll tell you a bit about this, the paradigm shift that I think on many markets and in many technologies has actually already happened. This move towards more environmentally friendly technologies and solutions. But first, let's go to the absolutely other side of the spectrum, that absolutely nothing has happened yet, because nature has not noticed yet, to be very blunt. This is the CO2 emissions that are back on the rise. This is the water stress by country. Even Sweden and Finland is now experiencing water shortage, as you have noticed probably this summer. This is just getting worse every year. There was a report 3 days ago, I think, that some 80% of all of our insects has now disappeared over the last 20 years, I think it was, or 30 years. And 2.5% of all insects are disappearing every year. If it keeps going like this, in 100 years we'll have no insects, which, as you can imagine, is just it's an unthinkable scenario that would even happen. On the other hand, everything has happened, even though nature is not taking notice of our efforts yet. A lot of the price points for these technologies to be uptaken on the market have actually already been reached. And a lot of these technologies and solutions are now more attractive than the polluting alternatives. And these tipping points have happened on a lot of markets, which is, in a way, is very good news, because the markets are still completely open. In terms of implementation and saturation on the markets, it hasn't yet happened to a large extent, but the price points have largely been reached. If we take these 3 activities that are, well, it's where we spend a lot of our costs, and it actually is a lot of the things we do during the day is related to these 3. It's very clear in all of them. Transportation is probably the clearest, you all know it. EVs is just exploding now, the sales of plug-in EVs. And it's beating the combustion engine in terms of sales growth. I think both in China and in the US, sales of regular cars, gasoline and diesel driven, was basically flat. And the EV sales was up something like 80% from an already strong 2017. But these are now the markets that are just exploding, and basically the polluting markets are slowly going away. Food is the same thing. If you look at the dairy industry over the last 10 years, regular milk has had something like a 20% sales decline in those 10 years. And plant-based milk alternatives have tripled their market share of the sales over the same period. Energy is probably the clearest trend, and I think you all know it. So, but the solar curve, the cost curve for solar is just a stunning example to look at. This first year here, I think, is 1980 or something. It's almost impossible to make a graph of the price decline of solar. That's how fast it has been. And this other graph that I didn't make it myself, I had a friend make it. But the other graph is actually watt per dollar. And I think that's an interesting graph to look at, because you can easily get the impression that the cost reductions in solar has already happened. All right, great, a lot of cost reductions has happened. Now we're here, it's pretty good. But in reality, if you look at the innovations that are happening in the solar industry, it's very likely that this trend will continue. And I think it's easier to see that if you actually count the watt per dollars. And if you follow this trajectory and extrapolate it, it's not that hard to imagine that we will have 24/7 solar power in the world. This, of course, depends also on the storage innovations and what happens there. But also there, cost reductions are happening. Also there's a lot of innovation going on. So that, of course, might lead to solar powering more or less everything. And more or less everything being run on electricity. And that has largely not happened yet. I like this zombie example and this technology adaptation curve. I've done this once before, and I think it's very true for this space that we are in, the cleantech industry. This first rise of this business in 2007 was mentioned by someone. And this curve is followed by a lot of technology introductions. For example, when IT took over more or less and took a part of everything we do, this is basically how it happened. Huge rise, high expectations, and then it slumped. And in reality, it was already being implemented, and then suddenly it's all around us. So the first step here, of course, where I've written is just the flu. Then it's basically when you start seeing some zombies around you. That can be illustrated by the Toyota Prius introduced in '97. And then, basically we panicked. I think we're all going to die. There will be zombies everywhere. And that's when, at that time, everybody thought that there would be biofuels for everyone. It's now almost ridiculous to think that we actually thought that ethanol would power every car on the planet. But a lot of that was a lot of hype around that. And then the COP15 failure happened. Some companies went bust. That actually attracted a lot of funding. And then, of course, everybody thought it was completely dead. That's the thing. All the zombies are gone. And then suddenly you walk around, you're in Shanghai or some city that you travel to, and you realize there's actually electric mopeds all around you. You go to Norway and you realize, shit, there's just electric vehicles here. Every car is silent. And then you realize a lot of this has actually happened already. And this is what I wrote in the zombie. It's actually a zombie village around here. There's more zombies than us. And I think we are at that point now. I read last week there's now a huge solar plant being built outside of Berlin without any subsidies. We just decided to build it because it's the most viable option to build. Let me talk shortly about the Nordics, because that's where we're at. We're in Stockholm. I think it's a really good place to be. I think we're in the right place today. The Global Cleantech Innovation Index now actually has Denmark, Finland and Sweden as the top 3 countries where it's most likely to find the next big stars in this cleantech space on a global level. And I would agree, actually, for several reasons. Policies in place for a long time. That matters. It pushes the market conditions, and it gives the companies here a little bit of an early bird market to test their solutions. This is the most telling example, I would say. This is the plug-in vehicle share of new sales of cars in the world. And it's Norway and Sweden. Norway has so much, it's almost like half of the cars sold now in Norway are electric. So it's impossible to even have the graph all the way up there. Forward-thinking corporations, or consumer awareness, let's start with that one. Also important, and policies in place. So the carbon content of electricity is another way to look at this. This is also Norway, Sweden, all the way to the left. Denmark comes in fairly different, despite some of the coal. Our carbon content of the electricity system is just astonishing on a global level, and we forget this sometimes. But it also gives us an early bird testing market here. And then I wrote, forward-thinking corporations are now setting the standard. I'm not saying that every big company here is a sustainability star yet. But now 2 of these companies that are influencing actually the whole world, IKEA and H&M. So IKEA, probably all of you know, the furniture company, flat packages, and H&M, the big fast fashion retailer. They've, of course, caused some of this, you could say, environmental crisis in a way, with everything being cheaper and cheaper, transported more longer and longer distances. They have now both announced that by 2030, they will use fully biodegradable, renewable materials, and they will go fully circular in their businesses. This is a huge statement, of course, and let's see if we can hold them to it. IKEA is already testing. In Switzerland now you can actually rent furniture and soon kitchens from IKEA, which is a complete overhaul of their business model. I also think that we matter here in the Nordics. Sometimes we forget it. Sometimes we think that we're so small it doesn't really make a difference in the world. But it really does. Of course it does. I think people look to the Nordics and see what we do, especially if we talk about it. So I think that matters a lot. This is the IKEA kitchen. So if you add to those conditions that more and more motivated and driven entrepreneurs are now finding this space, a lot of the younger generations that are now becoming entrepreneurs actually want an impact in their work life. And they are looking to this space to find their next line of work. And we have the funding conditions for early stage companies here, especially in the energy related field, from Swedish Energy Agency among others. We have a thriving stock listing market here, with Nasdaq First North in particular. So if you add all that together, you can also see that there's a lot of new cleantech innovations being started. I got these figures from Cleantech Scandinavia, who have compiled this. They do it every year, look at all the investments in this field. And this is the number of Nordic cleantech growth companies started each year. So it's actually a huge growth. And then I looked at the growth, and it's quite difficult because as new companies get added. So I actually took the top performers within each of these segments, and I looked at the growth of them. And 5 out of 11 segments had an annual growth of more than 4 times revenue, which is also just crazy growth for the top performers. So I would say it's a good place to be. And likely an area where you find some of the future sustainability stars, actually. What now? I'm not going to point to any technology, specific technologies that I'm going to pick as the future winners. I've found it way too difficult to do that. But I like this thing that is on the top there. I think it's this Michael Liebridge who stated it. He stated it well, I think. By 2030, we will either have dramatically lower emissions or we'll have no remaining carbon budget. That's just a fact. That's just how it is. This is, of course, the same for a lot of things that are environmentally damaging. It's the same for plastic in the water. It just needs to go. It's the same for degrading our topsoils. We just need to have more minerals in there. It's the same for a lot of fields. And since we have reached the point where the environmentally friendly solutions are more attractive, I actually think this move will be very fast. And I think it's happening right now. I think we will see emission and waste-free companies within the next 10 years, and a lot of them. Quite a few of you out here are already, of course, doing this, and some of the established brands on the market as well. Houdini is a good example. They are trying to go full circular, fully biodegradable in their raw materials. And I think we will see a carbon hunt in companies. We're already seeing it in many industries. Energy efficiency and resource efficiency is really a top priority. I do think that this is not something that anybody can do alone. I also sometimes hear that business needs to take care of this, politicians need to take care of this. It simply will take all of us. Consumers will need to do it, business will need to do it, and politics will need to do it. Nobody can do it alone. That means that nobody matters, and all of us matter. And I, for one, find that very inspiring. So I hope you have a great day. Thank you very much.